Welcome to the official AFL Fantasy Podcast with the Traders.
G'day with the Traders. Thanks to Sportsbet, I'm Roy, I coach Destroy, and I'm here with Warnie.
Coach of the Wanderers.
And Gavin.
Coach of Governator.
We're back.
Listen to the music.
This is the first of our club previews. And we're starting with the bottom of the ladder team where we always start.
It's always a slow start.
Yes. It's a tough gig, isn't it?
What we do with these, we go through each club and find some fantasy relevance. Sometimes we're, scratching at the...
You're scraping the barrel.
It's hard to...
Given that I'm starting with the Eagles, there's not a whole lot to read about.
I like that, Roy.
Well, yes, because we're talking about the most popular selection in the game, actually, at the Eagles.
So it's not... classic player.
Yeah, most picked classic player, and rightly so. And obviously we're talking about Harley Reid, who was the number one pick.
Yep.
Rightfully so, even though his fantasy numbers, they're not as impressive as some of the guys around him.
Yep.
But when you're looking at the fact he's got forward status and his job security, huge.
Yep.
And he's going to have an instant impact. He'll be in the top 10 of their best and fairest. So basically...
You had him winning it before.
Oh, well, there you go. Oh, we don't bring that up on their actual official one. But yeah, so he's a chance. He's every chance. Now, so there's your obvious pick. Now, there's some other things around that. So you've got to factor in that Luke Shuey is gone and Shannon Hurn are gone.
Yep.
Now, both at times throughout their career were really relevant in the fantasy scene, especially Hurn, who, he spent plenty of time in the role on 22 in defence back there.
Yep.
Obviously, high marker, took bulk kick-ins, things like that. That means there is access to points for people back there.
Yep.
Now, the obvious one that comes to mind is obviously Liam Duggan.
Okay.
So he's pumped out some impressive scores over the last couple of years, and I can only see that increasing with more access to marks and even kickouts.
So that was a big year last year he had.
He was.
96 average,
Yep.
yeah.
With the marks and kickouts then, how does that, you reckon, surely it has to be good for our boy Witho.
Witho, he could bounce back to areas that we saw the previous year, back in 2022.
Yeah, so he's priced at 78, down from the 95.
Wow.
Yes.
See, we always thought he's a 90-plus guy.
Yeah,
all
definitely.
the time.
Yep.
So there's a bit of value there for old Witho.
There is, because he's someone who would lick his lips at the chance to take some of those possessions that Hurn used to.
Definitely.
All right. When you also hear of marks and uncontested marks, if you want to go right down to bargain areas, someone like Don't Hassle the Hoff loves a mark, and especially an uncontested mark. He took double figures a couple of times last year to pump out some really good scores. He actually took 14 and 12 and he converted them both to hundreds. Now, whether he plays more of a wing role or he becomes that guy that's taken marks down across halfback, he is someone who
Upside
you could
at 555.
say... Yeah, upside, and also, gosh, if you're going to get deep in a draft and you want someone who's got 20 points upside, he could be your man.
Third-year breakout too, Roy.
Yeah, well,
So that's
exactly right.
then quite draftable, really, if you're going to put him up there with 20 points upside.
Well, I think it's there. And I think if he gets access to any of those points that have become available. Okay, the ruck department is very interesting,
Isn't it?
this year. And we have to consider, or at least have Flynn Sanity in the conversation.
Yeah, in the conversation.
Because he can get it done. This is a dude that can hit triple figures. And I actually have him going straight into the number one ruck spot, which pushes Bailey Williams forward.
Because he was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm talking 75-25. They have got him in there, Flinny in for 75% ruck. I don't think they hate Bailey Williams as a forward.
Okay.
So I think he automatically becomes the pinch hitter and Flinny will get that shot at number one ruck.
Okay.
So that's 646.
Yeah.
It's an interesting price and we won't start with him, but don't hesitate in draft because I think he's going to be good. Anyone else you guys have got questions about?
I saw a question pop up on socials the other day. Elliot Yeo.
Yeah.
So, Yoey.
Can we do it
price
again?
at 70, 633K. Obviously, has that defender status, or defender mid, but he's got the ability to be picked back there. Can you do it?
The answer's no.
No.
Right? It's a definite and it's a firm no.
It is. So He was obviously on our never again list last year, but Warne, I know you and I both
We dabbled.
had negotiations with him, and we came up with a deal that he could come off it.
Yeah.
Now, we came off it on the back of this. So he went on a 4-week tear. So he got 84, 94, 95 and 98, playing an awesome role through the midfield. He was available as a defender.
Yep.
His price was right. Whenever you say, he ticks all boxes, he never does. There is always a box at the end.
There's a but.
There is always a but box, and he did not tick that. So that turned out to be a failure again. So he's on a never again list. Now, as far as someone who has hit the track running this year, and he was bloody impressive on debut last year, Ruben Jinby, he has come back even fitter than he was last year. Now, he looked like he fit in amongst the men last year instantly, but he's looking in beast mode this preseason. So we know he can already tackle. If he's got the fitness now to rack up a few more possessions, he's a player to watch.
Well, 523. Well, he averaged 58 last year.
Yeah.
Got just mid-only status. I'd be much more interested if he did have that defensive like he was, but there's upside.
Clay Hall's someone I'm watching as a midfielder at 200,000. I reckon
There's
he's
some good numbers there of him as a kid.
100% there are, and I reckon he's every chance to force his way into the, if not the round one team, very early.
Well, these guys have got a few in that
They do.
300k bracket, and depending on who impresses over the preseason and what they want to do,
yes,
I guess moving forward, that is, it's interesting. So I guess, are we talking then the biggest name and the only lock, if we want to call one lock?
Yes.
That would be old mate Harley Reid. So the mid forward, 300k.
Yes.
So the question, and these are on the afl.com.au articles, so if you haven't checked those out, check them out there or fire up the AFL Live official app. Harley Reid, is he a certain starter in your fantasy classic team? Let's go that. Simple question. Cow.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
I think so.
I don't think there's really any reason that I'm not. I guess,
Look,
people need to be understanding your expectations aren't that of this, because he's the number one pick, he's going to be the best scorer.
He's not doing a Harry Sheasel.
No.
No.
But he'll play most of the games, and he should average around, the 60 mark?
Might get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think the key thing for him that he's got forward status.
Yeah.
Agree.
There's
That's
that
it.
as well.
There might be the question if he was mid-only, and you might have had some other options around there, but the fact that he's got the forward status. But at the end of the day, and at this time of the year, it's the job security that's about. We think
big
that
time.
he should be playing most games.
I just would not hesitate with him.
Yep.
I think it's an easy pick.
It's a good question. Right, Roy. We're off to a flyer.
It
work,
wasn't
Roy.
my worst.
No. You've done well.
But, yeah. It's just the Reedy.
It is.
Yeah.
There's plenty of draft interest there as well with what they can do. So when we get to ranking season,
Yeah, for sure.
it's going to be interesting to see. I reckon the Witho rank is going to be the one that interests me the most. That you might get yourself a bit of a bargain.
And
with
still,
Hurn
that
dog.
still could be an option for Classic.
Oh, definitely.
Witho,
Yeah.
without a doubt.
Yeah.
Very good. Right, you can hit up all of our stuff on afl.com.au. If you go /fantasy, you'll get all those fantasy articles there, all the cool things, including these podcasts, and also links out to the social stuff at AFL Fantasy. You can grab that on X. You can grab that on Instagram. And also, don't forget to find us on Facebook. Always plenty of stuff pumping through there.
You've been listening to the official AFL Fantasy podcast. For more expert advice from the traders, head to afl.com.au/fantasy.